I'm Catherine Ross, and I'm here live from the floor of the NYSE. Jim Cramer is off in San Francisco for Dreamforce this week, so joining me is Jeff Marks, Senior Portfolio Analyst with Action Alerts Plus. This morning, we got a U.S. Senate resolution that was passed condemning supporting human rights in Hong Kong, and China condemned this. Does this mean that we're hurting our chance for a deal?
It certainly doesn't help, right? China has taken a very, hard stance on when others have kind of spoken out about their views on Hong Kong. So I do think it is a negative on trade. I mean, combine this with the fact that yesterday you had President Trump threatening tariffs if there is no trade deal, which it just, in my opinion, is looking far, far less certain that we get something by the end of the year. So yeah, I think it is. I think right now it may act as a step back, and I think the market is previously we might have been reflecting discounting in a trade deal, and now it's kind of unwinding that a little bit. Maybe that's why you're seeing the market down today, because we did get some strong some strong earnings from some retailers, which would otherwise you would think the market would be up, but instead I guess it's still trade driving the narrative right now.
And Jim noted that actually on Twitter this morning. He said that we might see the market rally later on this afternoon. So our real money stock of the day today is Target, and Target, as you just alluded to, posted earnings that just hit the bullseye, let's be very frank.
Great quarter for them.
It was a fantastic quarter. Did their earnings just show that they're putting the bow on the tree for this holiday season?
Well, I think it shows that tariffs really aren't impacting them as, say, some other retailers. The consumers are just going into Target. I mean, there was a lot of talk about how strong traffic numbers were, and I mean, that's key for a retailer like Target. And I think you're seeing where the consumer's shopping right now. They're going to Target, good numbers. They're going to Walmart, strong numbers. They're going to TJX. Instead, they're only going to Kohl's if they get highly promotional. That's really the only way that it seems like that consumers are going to Kohl's. So I think you are seeing the separation between winners and losers. But at the end of the day, I do think that Target, like Walmart, which are some of the biggest retailers in the country, they're showing that the consumers are spending, and their low prices are what the consumer wants.
We also got earnings from Lowe's, which Jim Cramer wrote about in his Real Money column this morning. He noted that these better-than-expected earnings may show, which you said yesterday, may show that Home Depot's miss was just Home Depot and not the larger industry. Do you agree with that? I mean, you said it yesterday.
Yeah, I think it's interesting, and I think it shows the turnaround work that CEO Marvin Ellison has been putting into place at Lowe's. I think that Lowe's is looking far more consistent quarter to quarter now under Ellison than it was before. And I think because of that, you're going to see the multiple on Lowe's catch up to that of Home Depot's, because, look, they're probably both taking share in the category, but Lowe's with the turnaround, investing back in technology, trying to get their website really cooking, I think that's where you'll see the multiple kind of get closer to each other. So at the end of the day, look, we own Home Depot over at Action Alerts Plus, and we continue to think it's a strong pick, but with the benefit of hindsight, it looks like Lowe's was the play.
So you can read Jim's column and more about Target over on realmoney.com. Before we go, I want to ask you about President Trump's trip to Austin to visit the Mac factory with Tim Cook today.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? Do you expect to see a tweet about Apple later this afternoon?
Well, yeah, he'll probably tweet about it. I don't know what he'll say. Maybe beautiful jobs coming back into the beautiful young jobs coming back into the country, which is important, and which is really what he wanted to have the tariffs on for the first place, to bring the jobs back home from overseas. But I mean, yeah, I'm sure. It seems like the relations between the president and Apple have been getting a little bit more. Have been improving over the last 6 months or so. So before it was Apple, none of the products would be exempt from the tariffs, and I think some have since gone on to be exempt. So we'll look out for a tweet. I'm sure he'll have something to say.
All right, Jeff, thank you so much for joining us today. Now, guys, we are heading over to our Action Alerts Plus Daily Rundown show, which you don't want to miss because this morning, Jeff's going to break down some new names that you're thinking about adding to the bullpen. That's pretty exciting stuff.
Yeah, and so over at Action Alerts Plus, we keep a stock portfolio. We have currently around 33 names, but we also like to maintain a bullpen, which is basically like our stocks and waiting list, ones that we're watching and ready to pounce on when we see the opportunity.
All right, guys, so catch us over on actionalertsplus.com. I'm Catherine Ross, and I'll see you tomorrow.